Hey, Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the house of David. Let's get into this. So, I was, just doing some reading and stuff, and seeing these videos. There's still people that believes that that everybody can be saved. Still that going on. Still people confused on who gonna rule. It's still, still out there. There's still a lot of confusion out there. So that's why it's always important. That's why Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah has his men constantly re-uttering the scriptures, re-uttering precepts correctly, re-uttering scriptures. Because what? You have new Jakes waking up, and you have some Jakes that just don't get it. And you have some Jakes that need to probably hear it a couple times before it breaks through that ground so that seed can plant and be watered. So first we just gonna jump into it, This is Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 23. Listen. Oh, I don't know why I went to Daniel. Excuse me. Jeremiah. I probably accidentally hit it. This is Jeremiah 3, verse 23. Listen. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in the Lord our power is salvation of Israel. Now the hills and mountains represent governments. Because that's where all the other nations dwell around about. They dwell, you have kingdoms far off in this country, close to mountains back then, close to some good hills, back then. And still do. You still have countries set up in these areas that occupy areas like that. So it's talking about these other nations. So we can read that again. Truly in vain, you hear that? In vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the mountains and from the multitudes of mountains. You see? You hear what I'm saying? Truly in the Lord our power is salvation of Israel. You hear that? You hear that? So we're gonna jump to Isaiah, where you hear that salvation is for the Israelites. Now this ain't saying. Now listen, this is not saying that all the other nations are gonna burn in hell forever. Nope. First off, judgment is set upon earth. The people gonna come back. There's still the other nations. If you are of the other nations, you will be in the kingdom of heaven. But the rulership of the world will be in Israel, an Israelite dominion. Rulership of the world will be an Israelite dominion, ruled by Yahweh Shai. First and foremost, ruled by Yahweh Shai, trickling down to the 144,000. The other nations will be in the kingdom of heaven, but they will be subject. They will be subjects in the kingdom of heaven. They will not have immortality. Immortality is just promised for the Israelites. You know how you have in some fantasy movies, like a good and popular one that's well known as Lord of the Rings. In Lord of the Ring, you have a fantasy race that's that cannot die, that cannot die through aging. That's gonna be the Israelites. They're gonna be forever young and forever expanding. Forever young and forever expanding. While the rest of the realm, like you got your humans, you got your dwarves, you got your ogres, you got your half-foot or what that is saying. You got your if y'all like anime, you got your beastkins. All these are still subject to still subject to mortality and will perish and will die by age or by sickness or by accident. You know, they still would die and pass on and come back, but and come back as a new person, not knowing of their former life. But the Israelites, they shall be an eternal being, you know? And we're gonna get back to the scripture. This is Isaiah chapter 2, starting at verse 1. Listen, the word of Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And what is Judah and Jerusalem? That's Israel. And it shall come to pass in the last days. You hear that? In the last days, that the mountains, what the mountains represent, governments, that the mountain of the Lord's house, Israel, the Lord's house is Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, shall be established in the tops of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So the Israelites shall be above all nations, and all the other nations are going to come under the Israelites. Come under the Israelites, you know? You know? And we're going to come back to this. We're going to go and grab check it. This is it's here. I just ain't here. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 18. Listen, and it shall come to pass in that day. It's talking about the same thing Isaiah talked about. That day, the last day, that the mountains shall drop new wine. And this new wine is talking about is the law and commandments. That word new is just going to the word refreshed. It's going to be refreshed because it's going to be like a new thing to this world. Because people, they really don't know the law, statutes, commandments. They really don't. They don't know or don't obey them. But in the kingdom of heaven, when Yahushua comes to set Israel in rulership, that will be that governing. That will be that new wine. Will drop. Okay, I'm gonna start from the top. This is Joel chapter 3, verse 18. And it shall come to pass in that day that the mountains shall drop new wine, and the hills shall flow with milk, and all the rivers of Judah shall flow with waters, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the valleys of Shittim. And that's gonna be all the world. It's gonna be watering all the world. And what is that? And what is that water? The word, the law, statutes, commandments. You know. Now I'm gonna get this scripture real quick to tell you is rulership is not for all. It's not for all the nations. The eternal rulership is not for all nations. Listen, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. Listen, but Judah shall dwell forever in Jerusalem from generation to generation, just like that illustration I gave you with the Lord of the Rings, with Israel being compared to the elves. For I will cleanse their blood that I have not cleansed, for the Lord dwelleth in Zion. He ain't saying he dwell with all nations. He said he dwell with Zion. You know? So salvation, rulership is for the Israelites, the 12 tribes. And 12 tribes is not just black people. The 12 tribes is just not that dark hue. You know? Now this is just going back to let me get it. This is going back to where you at, buddy? Here it is, my bad. Whoops. Isaiah chapter 1, verse 2. Excuse me. I mean 2. Excuse me. 2. This is Isaiah chapter 2. Verse 2. Listen. And there shall come to verse 3. Listen, I'm gonna get verse 3. And many people shall go and say, many people come talking about all the other nations, because what he already said he was gonna establish Israel. And many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, who's the mountain of the Lord, Israel, who's going to be ruled by Yahweh Shai and the 144,000, to the house of the Most High of Jacob, who is Jacob. He was renamed Israel, and who is Israel? The 12 tribes, his son, the 12 patriarchs. And he would teach us of his ways, the law, statutes, and commandments. You see, the law, statutes, and commandment is coming back. You see, we're going to go back to verse 2. Listen. And it shall come to pass in the last days. You see, in the last days, they're talking about Revelations, and and after Revelation, let's just jump back to verse 3. To the house of the Most High of Jacob, and he would teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. You see, it's all coming back. Is everything gonna be refreshed? That law, that new wine is the law. You're just talking about refresh. It's gonna be a refreshed thing in the world, and people who don't want to get with it is just gonna, it's gonna be off. Because there's a scripture that says, bring him here and slay them that would not worship me. Roughly paraphrasing. Now we're gonna go and get Ezekiel chapter 20, verse 37. Listen to this. I will cause you to pass. Listen, I will cause you to pass under the rod. I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. Now he was talking about our forefathers. He was talking to our forefathers, but this is he's gonna what the second coming. He's gonna renew it, but make it better. He's gonna place in our inward parts. Because he's coming to do this again. I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the countries where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. And then what? That rod is the law. That rod is the law. That rod is the law. And who's gonna rule? Who's gonna be the one that rule? Yahweh Shai, like I said earlier. Let me just get that. This is Revelations. Chapter 12, verse 2. And she, verse 5, excuse me. Listen. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto the Most High and to his throne. Who was that? Yahushua. Yahushua. Because was Yahweh when I think it was Stephen looked up when he was getting stoned, what did he see? He saw Yahushua standing at the right hand of the Most High. This is talking about the man the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. You know, now check this out. Because there's not gonna be a nice rule. That man tiptoeing over dandelions, that's not the man who's coming back. Listen. Cause listen, remember it said, we're gonna read it again. This is Revelation chapter 12, verse 5. Look, right above it say the male child Christ. And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all the nations with a rod of iron. Check this out. I had one to get it here. This is Revelation chapter 2, verse 26 in the International Children Bibles. Listen to this. I will give power to everyone who wins the victory and continues to the end to do what I want. I will give him power over the nations. Verse 27, listen to this. You will make them obey you by punishing them with a rod of iron. You will break them into pieces like a potter's. You see that? It's not, the world don't really know who's coming back and how he's coming back. It's not gonna be a peaceful thing. It's not gonna be a peaceful thing, you know? So, with that, I hope you was edified. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the house of David. Until next time, Yahweh willing, Shalom.